Boom. Shakalaka. It's time. Oh, wait. There we go. Now it's time. All right. Time for what? The come up. It's the come up. Wow, wow. It's the come up. Yeah. Hello, people of the internet. Welcome back to the come up. It's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's 5:30, which is also not 6. So I apologize if we're just like really throwing off your times here at the come up. Listen, it's a flexible arrangement. It's a pandemic. No one needs to be stressed about time, okay? I would like to thank all of you people that have been watching. Thank you for watching the Come Up TLDR. Keep sharing, liking, subscribing on YouTube. If you have a Gmail, you have a YouTube account. I hate saying that, but it's actually true. You should use all of them to subscribe to this YouTube page. Thank you to Elsie Bernadine for all the work that she keeps doing backstage. Thank you to Meg McNeely for this light that got me popping. And let's just get into it, folks. I'm super excited. Tonight, I have a very special guest. Their name is Carina Dumars. They're the one right there in the middle reading the book, looking fantastic. Dear friend of mine, they did Ella Enchanted at the Rose with me, and that's where we officially met. But I quickly found out that I love them, and they're fantastic, and they have a lot of great thoughts on the world and education and theater and all those great things. And so I wanted to bring them here to talk about being in a post-COVID world and teaching that theater life. So, without further ado, welcome Carina, Carina. Yeah!
Hey!
Hello!
Hi!
Once we get a studio audience, no one's going to know how to handle this. It's going to stress out the world.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it though.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad to have you
How are
here.
you, Nick?
I'm good. We're trying new angles. I got a desk, so now we're actually sitting at a surface that's not a coffee table. So
Oh,
that's
good.
fun. We're at a new angle. I'm getting a tapestry next week though that I think is gonna rock the world of yeah. We're gonna see.
Ooh!
We're gonna see. Like I'm up in my game. I'm up in my game. Where are you right now? Where are you?
Yeah, so I'm actually back home in South Dakota. I'm at my parents' house. I've been here for almost a month now, but I am currently in my mother's bedroom. So
Oh,
that's where
nice.
I am. I know. There's nice lighting in here, which is the important thing.
South Dakota. What brought you to Omaha? How'd you get to Omaha from South Dakota?
A Google search.
Really? We love
Yeah, so
Google.
I know. So it all happened many years ago when I was in Fargo, North Dakota. And I was working as a Montessori teacher as well as a theater educator at the Fargo Moorhead Community Theater. And I decided that I needed a change of space. So I hopped on Google and kind of just went for a Google search, and I really don't know what I typed in, but the rose popped up, which is awesome. And so I applied for their fellowship. I actually applied twice, and so the second time I got it. And then they liked me enough to be like, hey, you want to stay another year? And I was like, absolutely. And then, sure enough, a position opened up. I applied for it, and now I'm here for, I don't know, a long time, I guess.
Yes, yes. So, I know why I love the Rose. I grew up there, and it's a super special place to me, and it shows me great people like you. But what about the Rose is super exciting to you? Why do you love the Rose?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. I never knew education would be in my career path. Though I grew up with both my parents as educators and my sister was an educator for a while, I myself didn't see it for me. I always wanted to be like the performer. But then that's when Fargo Moorhead Community Theater reached out and was like, hey, we're looking for people to teach some classes. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Of course. And things fast forward and snowballed into this beautiful nest of the rose. And just their mission statement is so wonderful, and their commitment to reaching as many students as possible. And I'm allergic, and so being able to be a spark in these young humans' eyes when like something just clicks with them. It's so juicy. I love it so much, and it's just helping them cultivate theater skills at such a young age is such a blessing. Um, but yeah, yeah,
I
that was
love
kind
it.
of a little bit of a rambling.
No, that was wonderful. I mean, so you started teaching classes at this theater, and then I mean, why'd you stick with teaching classes? I feel like education is something that a lot of us trying to make money as art people will end up teaching a class or two, but not everyone sticks around. So, what about this made you want to stick around and keep teaching?
Yeah, so like you said, like money does play a huge issue, and that was like the main reason why I started teaching classes. But again, it also goes back to that theater is magic, and children are so uninhibited by the seriousness of our world. Like they're so imaginative and so ready for creative play, and it's just so much fun to watch them. And I also think children are our most honest audiences. They're gonna let you know if something's really hysterical or something's really boring. But there is one human in particular this past year who I worked with them during a theater club session and kind of convinced them to take a class. And then I convinced them to join one of our teens in theater programming. And just seeing his confidence build from the first time I met him to the closing night bow was just mind blowing. And it made my heart so, so happy.
I love that. Those stories are so great too. There's just you can't, you don't really see like the magic of theater. I mean, you see it all the time with like the special effects or whatever, but like it's like what you're talking about right here is working with someone and getting them to take that next step, or like seeing a light bulb turn on, or knowing that you can teach a concept through this work is also always very exciting. So the world is changing, and the Rose just announced yesterday, I believe, that all the summer classes, or a portion of them, are going to be online.
Yep.
So what has it been like teaching theater to kids via a screen right now, and how are y'all kind of preparing for the summer?
It's so interesting. So we have actually just finished a 4-week spring session of classes. At least one of my co-teachers and I did, and it was really interesting trying to utilize the technology rather than like we're just here for a camera, but we're gonna act and things. Instead, we utilize like the chat room, we utilize the share screen. We tried to make it a part of the process, which was really helpful. As for planning the summer, oh my gosh, that was really tricky to be quite honest,
Yeah.
especially when you have production camps, and there are big musical numbers. So there are some things that we have to kind of pull back and reconsider. But, for the most part, a lot of our activities are staying the same. We're just kind of modifying them to fit the screen. Uh, but I think this is really an exciting time because we get to reach so many more people. Like in the class we just finished yesterday, we had students from Minnesota.
Wow.
So yeah, that was really, really cool. So I'm excited to see like where else we can reach students and like pull them in.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting point you make about this new level of connectivity that we have, even though everyone is kind of further apart. It's just so interesting that I was talking to someone. I went to a Zoom birthday party, and
Ooh.
and at the end they were like, "Oh, I'm so sad. Like, I wish we could all be together." And I was like, "But here's the thing. I would not be at this party if this was real life. Like, I could come to your party states away because of this. So like, it's not the same as seeing you actually, but I still got to see you on your birthday, and I haven't been here for your birthday in years. Like, this is awesome."
No, yeah, it's really special. Um, because I feel like we do take for granted being able to see anybody anytime we want to. So to actually make the time and set the time aside to reconnect with people is really important.
Yeah. So we met officially during Ella Enchanted at the Rose, which was, I mean, if I say so myself, a really great show. I directed the show, and Carina played Olive, the fantastically amazing sister of Ella. And one thing I really loved about that show was that, I feel like so often when we talk about inclusion and diversity and what it looks like to do that for the theater, it's always like, is the audience ready? Is the audience ready for that? Like, I don't know if they're ready. And the only feedback that we got from any audience member was, thank you so much for that diverse cast. So why do you think that that is still a barrier in this conversation for creating inclusive spaces?
Man,
We
you
could
like
be here all night. I know, right?
oh. So I was very, very thankful to be a part of the process. Like, getting to work with you and everyone in that cast was just a dream. I loved it. Like you had said in rehearsal, we could have took that baby on tour across the nation, and it would have been a-okay. Uh, but it's even today, as an adult, it's hard to look at productions or cast announcements and see the same color, you know. Um, so it was really special walking into this rehearsal room and seeing all the different shades of the rainbow, and it felt it felt like home in a sense of, okay, I don't have to put any walls up. I don't have to pretend to be someone that I'm not. I can be me in this space, and that's okay. And I think, our world is constantly changing. Our world is getting more and more diverse, and we're progressing, and it's amazing. And so I think that our representation with the show is so important, especially in the Omaha community, because something that we don't, and especially children's theater, like, oh my gosh, so crucial to see faces like yours up on stage, you know? Because I remember there was an instance during Winnie the Pooh when we were signing autographs and a little girl came up and like gave me a big old hug. It was just wonderful and awesome. And then before they left, their mother thanked me and said, "Thank you so much for having someone like us up there." And it took me back for a second because the last time I heard that was back in college, like 4 or 5 years ago. So to just kind of get pulled back into, oh, we're still not represented to the capacity that we should be, you know? Like there's still so much more we need to do. And like, yeah, there's always colorblind casting, but I feel that sometimes our directors get stuck on the idea of, if this isn't a person of color story, why do we need to have them in there, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and for me, like, I don't even really believe in colorblind casting. I actually feel like that phrase is the reason why representation is still sidebarred. I feel like unless you're making the conscious decision, which Ella Enchanted was fully conscious. I got that script, and the next thing I did was call Will because I was like, you should play this role.
I mean, there
And
was no one who could have done it better, so.
and so I think it's important to it's to start from the beginning and you're in your concept and not to make race a concept, but like this idea of, I'm going to have a racially diverse cast. I'm going to have a cast of people that look like actual people. I'm going to have a cast of the best actors that are fun and exciting and that can bring this story to life for these kids. And so thank you for being there. You were just perfect from the moment you walked into the audition room. You were
Oh,
just
thank
great,
you.
just great. So, slight pivot. In this conversation of representation, I think that a community that's often left off is the Native American community, which you are part of, and I think I'm like 25%. My great grandfather was, but like it's not something that I claim readily because that's not what you should do with your life. But something that's always been interesting to me is, I feel like we've never, and we as the nation have never gone back to like the roots of what's happened in this country to build us to where we are. And that starts with the Native Americans. And so how important is it for you to continue to be a positive face for these causes and pushing this forward and be for the young people, for everyone to keep that conversation, moving forward, because it's the conversation that we need to start with to actually fix anything, I feel. And so what is it? Yeah, talk on it.
Yes, 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 yes. So, it is my mission in life to create a theatrical space for Indigenous youth to just use as a platform. Um, as a part of our culture, storytelling is huge, like oral history, huge. Uh, so to be able to know that theater is something that they can turn to as like an outlet, because on a lot of reservations, at least my reservation, we do not have any arts programming, at least when I was in school, at our tribal schools. And so it wasn't until high school when I even truly knew what theater was. So as a Native youth, you usually have to turn to sports or other recreational activities. Um, so I would really love to create something that can travel free of profit to different reservations in the nation to just kind of let them know that, hey, you have a space and we're here for you. We want to hear your voice, the youth voice, because that's what's powerful and that's what's important and that's what's going to get us so much further ahead in our society. Um, so yeah.
I feel like people don't understand the weight of representation. Like people and don't understand that because growing up at the Rose, I think I saw maybe two people that looked like me, and so it was super important to me to get on that stage to be like, this is what it can look like. And so I'm super happy that you're there and you're continue to create these spaces and you're just so wonderful and fantastic. Okay, one more question. You love musicals. I love musicals. What are you listening to right now? Are there musicals that are getting you through the pandemic? What's on your playlist?
Oh my gosh. Well, constantly Hadestown. So I love Hadestown. I love The Great Comet of 1812. Oh my gosh, Octet, also a Dave Malloy musical. Ghost Quartet, another Dave Malloy musical. I just really like any musical that's obscure sounding with synthesizers and accordions and are strange.
So does that include Cats? Because there's a lot of synthesizer in Cats.
Ridiculous. I Okay, so I worked on Cats during a summer stock, and
I
I was
didn't
like,
know this.
yeah. Well, not like it was the summer stock for Straw Hat Players up in Fargo, good old Fargo, North Dakota, there. And I was the one of the assistant stage managers and a director for that show. But to this day, I have not seen a live production of Cats, even while working on it. I still have not seen a live production. I have seen the movie, which was a complete mistake, but I mean, it was fine.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. One, and this is I don't have enough money to get sued by the people that are playing Cats on YouTube this weekend, but Theater Mania said that the Cats filmed version is going to be on YouTube this weekend. Not the movie, but the film stage version, which is
Oh, see, that's
superior to the film. And here's what went wrong with the film. They tried to really like drive the plot. Like the thing about Cats is one of the first song cycles. So it's really just a musical about cats telling you what kind of cat they are. That's what it is. You just have to accept it as it is. So what's frustrating with the film is that they tried to take this through line of McCavity and and people were appearing on docks and people were disappearing and I was like, no, this is not my Cats. This is not Cats.
where did the chandelier go? Honestly, like where was? I mean, I don't know where it went. What happened to Grizzly? Like I just there are more questions after seeing the movie than there were ever in my entire life
Well, because
about
also
Disney
like
cats.
well, a couple of things that were exciting. Like one, the ratio of like the bed was huge, but other things were like their size. It was like that didn't make sense. But then also, I don't think has there ever been another movie in the history of film that wasn't finished when they sent it out and they kept editing it and getting new videos. Like, did you know that? They weren't done. They weren't done with Cats. Cats was not being done edited. It's, but they just sent it out because they had a release date. And so they just kept updating it and sending the theaters new versions.
That's, I mean, I've seen stills from every edited version of the film, and I'm like, what was different? What changed? Honestly, and here's the big thing, Nick. I think the thing that makes me the most frustrated about the movie is scale. Like, none of it made sense. Wasn't there a ring around the ballerina cat's neck at one time? I
Yeah.
was like, I don't understand.
Like, what size
How
are these
small
cats?
are you?
I actually think the one misstep of Cats, the largest misstep, is that we never got to see the dog. There was a dog
I,
that barked. Do you remember?
I've never seen cat
Not even the movie?
like the original like Broadway
No,
movie.
like the film version of Cat. Tim
Oh,
Hopper.
why don't I remember a dog?
See,
I
because you
love
didn't see
dogs.
him.
I
You
would
didn't see
remember
him.
a dog.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Biggest misstep. They had him barking. It was during Rakata and Rumpelteazer. There was a dog that was like boo boo boo, and they blocked it. Right, yeah. So if they had shown the dog, that would have elevated the film. And this proves the point because you don't remember that moment, but you should because there was a dog.
And that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Carina, I appreciate you. Thank you so
Thank
much for being here.
you. Of
You're
course.
amazing, and I am so excited that the Rose has you full time now. That's the best call the company's made in a long time. Thank you for being you and shining your light, and I just am so happy that you did this. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh.
Of course, and you have a great rehearsal tonight. Rehearsal? It's rehearsal that you're going to?
No, it is night 2 of performances for Young Playwrights Festival at the Rose.
Oh, and it's live. Is it live on, what is it on?
Yes, live on YouTube through our YouTube channel, The Rose Theater. It's really great. We have 4 awesome shows lined up, all written by our Young Playwrights class and all performed by the young humans of Omaha and surrounding areas.
That's so great. Send me a link and I'll put it under the video.
Yes, we'll do.
All right. Thank you. Have a good show.
Thank
Ooh.
you.
That was Karina, y'all. I like her a lot. Them. I like them a lot. Apologies. Big fan. I just love people and I love doing this thing. Before I let you go, I have one more guest. His name is Landon Smith. And he is I'm not going to say what his title is because I don't know what it is, but he works for a company called Film 765. He's a founder, he's a creator, he makes movies and stuff. And he has a film festival for Chicago artists that I am super excited to talk about for a little bit. So please welcome to the come up our next guest. This is our first next guest. This is like a real talk show, y'all. Landon Smith. Landon!
Yeah, what's going on, Nick? I am proud to be the first next guest. I mean, come on.
It doesn't get much better than
Breaking.
that.
I know, right? Oh my God, I love that. I don't know what I am either, okay? So that's fine. So, producer, actor, whatever.
So, how are you doing? How's your quarantine? Are you alive?
Man, I'm alive.
That's
I'm
good.
alive. We are out here. Well, we're in here. We're just, surviving. We're trying to hustle. We're trying to keep busy.
Yes.
And yeah, and just watching a lot of movies because that's what I love to do anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, and just working, try to stay busy, try to stay positive. It's tough.
For sure.
Chicago with the weather outside as well, it's a bit, it can get tough, but a lot of yoga, a lot of meditation, we're here.
So tell me a little bit about Film 765, and then tell me about the Film Race Home Edition.
Yes, the Film Race Home Edition. This is our latest project. Okay, so Film 765, first of all, we are a group of filmmakers, a group of artists, and this is what we do. We put on events. We like to cultivate experience through film. A couple of our biggest projects up to this point have been the Film Race. The first Film Race was shot in 2018. At that point in time, it was called the Indiana Film Race. And what that is specifically, it's a competition in which three teams have 5 days to shoot a short film while traveling through 5 different counties in a given state. Okay, we provide an RV for each of the teams. Okay, we provide all of the pre-production. That's locations. That's a $2,500 allotment to defer any costs that they might incur. So basically, we set the stage for them to make a film, right? Over the course of 5 days. The winner gets $10,000. We have a closing ceremony where we have multiple industry judges that these are the people who judge the films and make the decisions. So yeah, so basically we produce this event for filmmakers to do what they do. Okay, and then we promote those companies as they progress with the film. So
So
that is.
how are you doing it at home? How have you changed it for the home version?
So obviously this year we've had a little difficulty in pushing forward for this year's race. We planned on doing it this year in Illinois, but because of the COVID pandemic and its alternative plans for us, we've decided to throw an in-home film race. Okay, we're calling it the Film Race Home Edition. And basically what that is it's scaling our production down and putting it in the hands of filmmakers at home. So you and I both know, as artists, as actors, and I was just listening to Carina about theater. I mean, we're all itching to do something, to act. And it's our objective to provide a platform for those people and an outlet to show us something, to create right now, because we all want to, we all need to. And this is a time in history where I feel like it's more important to create now than ever. So anyway, so we're providing that platform, and then we have multiple prizes and gifts, and a lot of sponsors on board that will be able to enhance the opportunity and the experience altogether. So, for example, yeah, so we want to, so basically make a film in your house. You don't have to be a filmmaker. You can be an actor. Anybody who has a phone can put something together, edit it, and send it in, because we want to see your experience through this pandemic by telling whatever story it is you want to tell. Okay, and we have first of all, we have prizes. Okay, so everybody wants to know about the prizes. What do I get? Why do I do this? Okay, we got it. All right. So first place winner gets $500. Second place winner gets $300. Third place winner gets $200. We are only accepting up to 100 submissions. So it's kind of like, get your stuff together, let's get something in. Okay. And then we also have a broad list of sponsors that are going to contribute to the prizes as well. And they will be distributed as determined by us at the end of the event. But essentially what we have is camera ambassadors on board. They've always had our back. Incredible Gear House in Chicago. They're putting a $500 gift card on the project. We've got Noise Floor, another incredible Post Sound House. They've got $500 gift card. We've got an annual membership for IFA. The Gene Siskel Film Center has a package included in the prizes. We have the Midwest Film Festival on board, and we're getting new sponsors every single day, because it seems like everybody in Chicago, in this community, are itching for the same thing. They want to band together and get behind something, and we're happy to put this in front of people and give them the opportunity. to make something.
Yeah, I love it. So
Yeah.
how do I get involved? How do I submit my film if I want to?
So all you have to do is go to film765.com. As soon as you pull it up, the first page that comes up will have every single piece of information that you need. It'll have the rules, the judges, the prizes, everything that you might need to know is right there. We do ask, and it is one of the rules that when you submit your film, you have to attach our logo to the film to give us credit in association with Film 765. And that's all in the rules. It's very self-explanatory once you get on the website. You can also follow us at film765.com. I'm sorry, film765, the URL, or the Insta, film765.
At film 765. Gotcha.
At hashtag at film, dash, yeah, at film765. And also at the film race. You're going to get a lot of information there as well. So those are our two web presences that you can totally follow, and we'll be updating you everything. One more, and I know you got to get off. I'd love to talk to you about the judges.
Oh yes, who are they?
Yes, so we have awesome judges on board, and we're really pumped about that because this is going to give a lot of actors in the city, a lot of filmmakers, an opportunity to have a lot of eyes on their project. And who knows, somebody likes what you did, somebody talks about it, and this is about opening doors as well. So Alex Pizios, president of Cinespace, is on board. He's one of our judges. We've got James Mendoza. He's a producer with the Pride of Gypsies, who is Jason Momoa's production company out of LA. We've got Betty Steinberg, producer, and she's the director of strategic initiatives for IFA Chicago. We've got Kwame, and forgive me if I mispronounce his last name, Amwaku. He's the director of the Illinois Film Office. And then we've got, last but not least, Ryan Cheverini. He's the host of Windy City Live.
That's huge.
I know. So we got a bunch of different, people looking at this. We want to hear Chicago's story. We want to be here for these artists in this time of need.
Yes.
So, yes.
Landon, thank you. Send me all that info. I'll put it on the videos when we send them out. Thank you for coming on and talk about it for a little bit.
Nick,
and thanks for creating this
Thanks
space.
for having me.
Of course.
And I love this show. This is awesome. This is totally I loved hearing Carina's story.
Listen, tell your friends, tell your enemies, and tell everyone. Subscribe, like, do the thing.
Subscribe. This needs to blow up, okay?
That's the goal, because we need to pay some bills.
We got to pay some bills, Nick. We have to pay some bills at the very least.
Landon, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Nick. Later, man.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, coming up next week on the Come Up. Thanks for bearing. We have two episodes next week. We have an episode on Monday, and we also have an episode on Wednesday. On Monday, I'm going to be joined by Caitlin Daniels and Brandon Lampkin, who are up there. And they are two brilliant musicians. We're going to chat a little bit about the difference between legends and icons in music. Is there a difference? I don't know. Inspired on the tough week that we had last week with Little Richard and Betty Wright and Andre Harrell. I thought it'd be a cool time to hop on and talk about musicians and talk about music, and I think those two are going to be super fun. And then down here, Jamila Henson, my friend from Omaha. She is an arts curator. She is an grassroots archivist. And we're going to talk to her about what all of that means on the 20th after we do the episode on Monday. That's all. That's it. We did it. We had two guests tonight. That's the most exciting thing that's happened to you all week, and I'm super happy I can provide that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always watching. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next week. Twice. Peace.